factor into this because, again, we also heard how Frost was mentioning that they were so prepared for the 6-man. Now it's just down to the 5. How is it going to, again, affect I guess, how the players kind of move forward since they've been so used to the 6 switching? So, I don't know, just putting it out there.
I mean, no, it's a fantastic point, Lenny. They don't have that 6-man roster going anymore, and Frost, you know, he was really trying that out during kickoff, during stage 1 in his interview here with us. He was all about it, but I guess he's just focusing on 5 men and making sure they've got it down.
And I think that overall, that's going to be probably just better for them in the long run. I mean, it also means that we don't have to watch Sova on Split, so that's a positive. But you know, I'm curious because the components that they have here on this squad, Shitboys especially, we didn't really get to touch on him too much. He has been an absolute menace this entire time. Curious to see if that performance is going to be continuing for him here today.
Great points, gentlemen. All right, we're going to go into the second matchup today to our Southeast Asian favorites, PRX versus Talon. Over to you, casters William and Quack.
Thank you very much. That's right. We do still have another full best of 3 waiting for us. Talon versus PRX. The Des mentioned it. It's a rematch that actually hasn't been that long ago. The very beginning of playoffs at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and it was a 13-0-2 that was definitely felt.
Yes.
I think Talon is prepared this time, though. I mean, not only is it, you know, that change up from the 6-man roster to the 5-man roster, it's also a PRX that hasn't looked the greatest since Pacific Stage 1.
And now we do have the Asian picks right away, and Talon Esports, we see it. All right, so Surf now on the main stage. Surf was always a duelist to begin with, and now they're putting him on duelist. Governor goes to the supporting role of KO, working with some of those flashes. Ban continues to stay on that Sentinel role. They've been bouncing back and forth sometimes between Ban and Surf. Of course, they have the 6-man rotation, but we'll see. Is this true for all the maps? We don't know, but here on Icebox, it is going to be Surf back in home territory as that duelist. Governor will be backing him up, and personally, I'm actually okay with this. Governor, sometimes it seemed like the pressure of trying to open up sites, trying to open up executes got to him. He was getting a little bit too far ahead of his teammates at times, and now he's able to support, knowing what the duelist needs. Ban's able to go back to that Sentinel role, hopefully have a little bit more consistency in the picks that he's playing for the team, and maybe this all comes together to form a Talon that's a bit more solid at the foundation.
Yeah, it definitely goes a little bit wild sometimes, but this looks more solid, more concrete, and at the same time expecting a little bit more consistency from Shitboys, but at the same time, same consistent picks all throughout for PRX. I mean, this might have been Talon's pick of Icebox, and PRX sticking with the same composition, but how are things going to look different? PRX needs to stay on top, while Talon definitely looking over to climb.
Talon Esports trying to make something happen, already in a decent spot to position themselves for playoffs here in stage 2, trying to get one of those absolutely precious slots going in to Champion Seoul. Missed out on Masters Shanghai, but they proved that they were here to continue on an upwards trajectory, rather. And now Talon will be starting on that defense. PRX starting on W Gaming on that attack.
Definitely still, I mean, curious thing is kind of like what everyone's been mentioning, right? The duelists and Forsaken, for example, needing to see a little bit more teamwork from them overall. And some technical decisions, right? But right now, just heading over onto yellow, picking up that early space. Not really tempting too much with Fate, though, as Shitboys instead gets invited out for that peek. Mindfreak shuts him down early on with the Sheriff.
Yeah, but it's going to be a quick fill back up by Ban. You still have more members than you would have expected on side of Talon, but Mindfreak's still on for it. He's not going to the one getting the kill, but still it's going to be the trades here for PRX as Talon still holding it down. Surf, though, he has no idea that he's been full rifle by. This is where they have to stop that bleeding. Like you said, sometimes the trauma starts to get back to you. Yeah, you try to ignore it, but it's not going to work, and now the high-low setup, they've been holding it for the entire beginning of this round. They delete the 0 point, and immediately it's too many targets for PRX to try to pick and choose. The ante is good as well. Nice and clean from Talon. And they know, PRX, they won't stop. They'll always keep the foot on the pedal. They're ready for it even past the toxic screen, but playing it safe. Want to make sure that they have trades available with the backup. They're waiting for the flank to come through. 2 members already wrapping around for Talon.
Yeah, completely surrounding PRX, right? The spike's still down. PRX needing to find some sort of a positional advantage. Wayman goes in to clear, and that kind of dissuades the PRX from pushing forward even more. Jing goes back, picks up the spike, picks up the ult orb, but that gives Ben so much information as to how he can take this duel. Spots out Mind Freak, there's the shot. Jing goes in for a spike plant.
Yeah, but he spots one on Cruz. Can he get the kill? Not going to be clean. Ban there for the backup. But if Jing had gotten that, things are starting to look a little dicey as he already got so many ult orbs. A bit of a traffic jam there on the ropes, trying to figure out who's going to go for the defuse, trying to pick up the rifles. And Cruz, of course, now 1 point away from the Thrash. So, all right, we've already avoided the 13-0. You've got that monkey off your back. Now you can continue to play the game that you've prepared here on Icebox.
Stay down.
And that's kind of one of the bigger questions too. I mean, okay, yes, Thresh, very good. You can see that Talon are starting to build up these building blocks towards, you know, a better win against PRX. But at the same time, PRX, you know, this is just really early on. But the way that they're just continuing to push through is very classic Southeast Asian Valorant style. A lot of aim duels. Unfortunately, PRX lost that one, and then Talon finds their advantage.
Now the Killjoy set up across both sides of A site, so it's going to be a plan to delay on A. Worst comes to worst, you'll have to retake with the toxic screen. Turret in mid as well. Try to get some information. Not a bad tag onto Mind Freak, but you're not quite sure, is that the tail end or not? You do see the attacker 0 point coming into A, so Talon, a fast rotate. Surf's still going to be holding his job to get information. He finds one, he's not sure of a second, and that's going to stop the full rotate. So to remedy that, Talon band starts to go forward, see if there is a counter rotation from PRX.
Checking for, ooh, spotted by Defy instead. Good little thing going through, so Ben feels the damage, but falls back over onto screens, and that is where the spike is as well. Something just holds its ground, finds the 2 shots, tailwinds into the site, and all of a sudden, the site has been infiltrated. Talon needs to find a way to fight back, but it's a little bit too hot. Governor goes in for the peek, but he's singled out and alone. Now the rest of them, Ben, trying to fight back, holds off the flanks for the time being, but the spike goes down.
Surf wants to try to fish for it, but Jing still quick on the trigger against Ban. And at this point, Surf, are you going to go for the save? I mean, everyone else can buy back up, so this is one of those rounds where you do have to consider it, because you can still match on the next round. And Surf will just cut the losses nice and early in this 4th round, giving PRX their 3rd round win.
A lot more urgency in how they want to take down the sites. I mean, PRX, you know, taking a little bit of that space around pipes, finding the angles against Talon. Talon wanting to fight back, but not quite being able to make it happen. It's sometimes the site as well, without the right angles, it's tough to hold. So good call for Surf to hold on to this Vandal, but for now, needing to see a little bit more.
So Talon, again, on the minimap, we pointed it out, they're trying to make sure they react to the information that they see nice and quick, because they know that PRX isn't going to give you the time of day. Oh, but here, I mean, something's so quick with it. The fact is, they actually heard the jet movement on top of that box, so I believe Talon was trying to fish for it as the toxic screen goes down, but something's quicker with it. And now we'll see what is going to be the attack. 2-1-2 default for PRX. Trying to make sure that they annoy and disrupt any of the Killjoy setups in mid. That's going to be Devi's job. Nanoswarm going all the way into kitchen. Not going to find anything just yet, though. Ban going to be playing around his own turret to try to fish for a kill.
Just playing it safe. Not wanting to give either team any advantage. And that's oftentimes also why, you know, for PRX, the Jet heading forward because he is able to dash right back out. The rest of them teaming up together, looking for some advantageous duels, but something this time just a little bit faster than Surf right now. Opens up the A site.
This is where Surf used to shine, was holding things on his own. Sure, he was playing the Viper before, but you could let him lurk on his own, hold down, anchor a site, and then go for a timing because he was so quick with it, but it's a tough project against the likes of something. Chip Boys will try to answer back, make it a 3v4, but they are far away from the site. Econ all over the place once again, and Talon already having to play to survive rather than play to win here on the first map.
Yeah, you might have thought that third round meant it was a little bit stronger, a little bit better. They had the right read at that time, but now PRX and the way that they're operating, even with a slight default, a 3-2 split across the map, it just kind of works out in their favor. I don't know if it was the positioning that kind of didn't work out too well, but yeah, Surf would have been able to take that duel, but how do you shoot something that you don't see coming? And that's the strength of having a player like Something.
PRX, sure, a bit of a rough showing at Master Shanghai, but they've always been one of the top dogs, if not the definitive top dog coming into this year here in Pacific. And a lot of that relies on the individual mechanics of these players. So Surf now being reminded of that harsh reality, and he's gonna have to step things up. You're not gonna be given the time to warm up on stage. The engine already has to be rolling. Quick adjustment there from Something.
I think they go post plant.
Nice, boys.
Okay, all right, just making some calls. It does seem like we saw it in the beginning in stage 1 as well. Something trying to be a bit more vocal, trying to make the calls from round to round. Sure, PRX, they say they go for a hive mind mentality, but somebody has to put their foot down. And so far this year, it looks like that's going on to Something's shoulders.
At least for the initial fights, and trying to decide what they want to do or which direction they want to head in.
Chip Boys is trying to hold this again. He's good for one. Can he get the second? All right, now he's safe for the time being. Eventually gets taken down, but it's enough time for Ban to try to provide support, but he's not in position to get out. Down to a 3v2. Still numbers advantage and Thrash online for Talon. Devi won't spot anyone just yet. The pit goes through, but the Thrash, it's going to be a huge counter to this ultimate. Do they use it right away? Not everyone's in position just yet. Chase it off with the fragment.
Sneaking around the corners too, though. Now it's a little bit more difficult for Divide to stick the plant. Has to back off, but down goes Mindfreak, and all of a sudden, no cover available. Dizzy tags onto Devi as well, and he's got completely surrounded. A little bit of a line of sight, but not quite able to thread the needle, and 3 targets all up and down, way too hard. It's gonna be Talon fighting back 2-4.
Yeah, this was a really good round from Talon. Nice and calm, even going around the Viper's pit, not going for the sprays, knowing that you have the Thrash. So if they did stick the plant, so be it. We know how to counter this. Because if you just go for the blind sprays, you might show the tracers, you might give the audio, and you might make it a 2v2. I like it. Now, one of these members always trying to hold solo on yellow on the execute. I mean, sure, you want to hold on to that position, but at that point, if you don't win your duel, the round pretty much ends right there. So we'll have to keep our eye on if that is going to be Chip Boys' job every single round.
He is capable so far, positionally, always dedicated over on the B side. Same triple stack from Talon on the A side. PRX just kind of avoiding it for now.
And it's going to be Talon spotting that Poison Cloud coming up in mid as well. Sage Wall used as a pinch on to B. But Talon, they've already committed to wanting to go for a retake. Man finds one, he's ready for the second, but he cannot stabilize. Mindfreak just too slippery on the movement. And now Kitchen entirely in control of PRX, but Jip Boys is all alone. PRX is pinching onto him, and Jinx sends the slow orb as well. There's the resurrection. All 5 members still alive for PRX, as Mindfreak continues to dwindle down the numbers of Talon.
Spike goes down too. Might just be another safe round for Talon, unfortunately. I mean, it's these little moments where PRX seems to try to get the read against you. They're exploring all their options. Earlier on, might have been B or A site. This time, they hit down through mid. Ben caught them for the time being, but then the answer's right back. It's just something that Talon doesn't quite react in time to. Now, Surf, watching the angle. Oh, spots up Forsaken's shoulder, but Forsaken just a little bit sharper than he is.
Oh, that's a crucial mistake. I mean, sure, it doesn't change the outcome of the round, but just goes to show that maybe a little bit of nerves, a little bit of anxiety coming into some of these players on Talon, because we know that they can shoot when they're on. But absolutely misses that opportunity. Governor, he's been spotted. The barrel has been shown, and eventually he'll just go down to the spike rather than give over an ult point over to the other side, stuck between a rock and a hard place. I wonder if a timeout comes through. Timer does stop. Because I was going to say, no matter what you're hearing in the comments, at this point, you have to kind of stop the energy on PRX, make sure that the energy comes back up for Talon, and they start to play a bit more as a team.
Needing a timeout, right? Well, I am curious. Between a rock and a hard place, what would you choose?
The Rock is a hard place, so I don't know.
Which one is harder and more painful?
I'm just gonna not choose anything. I'm just gonna stay stuck in there. This is way too philosophical for me.
Biasanya nge-deny
But
pick
in the
advantage
meantime, Talon, they're gonna choose the timeout. They're gonna try to make sure they do find an exit, because so far we're not really seeing it. I mean, yeah, you have 2 rounds. Yeah, you got the bye round, but it wasn't the cleanest one.
Time waktunya cuma
And
1
you know, the round 2 rounds ago, sure, that one, good read, good reaction, nice and patient. But to some extent, we're not seeing the fire we saw from Talon from stage 1. Yes, it was inconsistent. Yes, you got rocky. Yes, sometimes you would overextend, but you had energy. You had your own pace. You were always trying to take priority. And currently on Icebox, on your own pick, we have not seen that just yet from this new starting 5 of Talon.
Yeah, perhaps needing to see them go a little bit more proactive. I mean, that's what I'm wondering. With this specific switch up in terms of roles, right? You got Serve on the Duelist. Maybe they are starting on defense, but this could be the round where they switch things up. He's got the play storm. He's got the operator. Might just be able to do something with that. Lock down a lane, perhaps.
Wants to set up for the operator. He's a little late on the movement all the way over to B, but it looks like that's going to be the commitment. Pit over on A, turret at mid, so everything pointing towards that sign. Ban going for the quick retreat as he hears a nanoswarm land, so he'll be able to bring that turret back up just a bit quicker. Sprays all around. Ooh, Jit Boys, he's gonna have to watch out. He's already been chunked down quite a bit and only has a judge in hand. Meanwhile, members being tagged in mid, so PRX, a decent idea on what the setup might be. I imagine you continue to put pressure onto that pit and then start to rotate over to B. You've already shoved them away from mid. PRX has that priority. Slowly inching towards kitchen. Hasn't been spotted by the turret just yet. Governor, do you have your sights trained? No, it's not quick enough. He tries, and there's the dash.
Wow.
The aggro drawn by something, and Jing is there for the trade. And now the pit. You're just locked in here. It's turned into a jail for Jet Boys. Can he get out? The fragment.
I don't know.
Keeps him all tied up.
Mind Freak on the lurk as well, and he just spots out. Cruz not taking the duel, but at least this is a little bit of information for PRX. Talon still stuck between that rock and a hard place. Jit Boys unfortunately having to bite the bullet there. PRX, that spike will definitely go off now, and the rest of them just trying to save.
You have to save. You got that operator. I mean, it took so long to get online. You don't have many chances to use it. Sure, you have the Blade Storm, but you're going to have to keep it. Meanwhile, PRX, they get an inkling. They have a lot of creds no matter what. You know the ults are online for both members of Talon anyway. Now you hear the operator. They are on the hunt. They want to take this away. That all but pretty much secures the rest of the half here for PRX. The dash has to be used. Surf knows it's a matter of time. And so far, he should be safe.
Safe enough. But taking a look at the scoreline, Will, 2-6. It's a little bit too devastating. Talon needing to come back definitely right now, and they've saved up. They have to make it happen with these guns. At the same time, it's just PRX being pretty darn good on the anticipation, right? We saw that Viper's Pit. They tried to go in for that blind fire through the smokes, trying to find Jit Boys, and it kind of works out. Maybe the idea was to funnel PRX over onto Surf, who had the operator around the B side, but it didn't quite work out.
Yeah, I mean, it's also a little bit readable, right? And I'm not going to say that Talon didn't have further game plans. PRX kind of breaks it apart in mid with some of those duels. But the initial part of it, we've seen it. It's an age-old thing. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it does allow PRX to try to take back some of that tempo. And now we've got the lockdown on the ready, used early just to buy time, but they don't exactly have full control of the flank. And meanwhile, Fragment goes out. Is it going to land perfectly? Hole in one. That's lockdown gone. Spike already being held. Not the round Talon and owed for. Now scrambling to find a position, but the Sage Wall is there for the spam as well. I mean, this retake's looking rough already. You do have the Blade Storm. That's one more chance. Dizzy comes out. That's the setup. But there's the null command just to shut it down. So now you have to work with the operator. Everyone already falling down. Talon trying to pull out 2v2. A good pop flash from Forsaken, though.
Fantastic individual duels being taken, and all that's left is going to be Governor. He tries to push up front, but Forsaken just watching the angles, making sure that Governor stays on his feet. PRX still staying on top now, 3 rounds in a row.
Talon has to stop the bleeding some way here, but they don't have the creds to do it. Still holding on to some of these ultimates. And yes, we saw about how you have to use ultimates. You can't just let them sit and rot, but at the same time, I mean, when was there that opportunity to try to use it? This time you get shut down by the null command, but you do want to make a move. You don't want to just sit and wait all the way to the very end of the round.
Careful.
And now the Outlaw comes out. PRX knowing that Talon is sitting broken on the creds and finds the elbow of Governor. You just can't catch a break. The follow through from Surf, it's too many targets.
Good little punish. And Forsaken being able to swap back over as well. Cruz, good little tap. Still has the thrash, but no teammates here.
Oh my gosh, no, not like this, something. I saw him reload that shorty and I thought, surely not.
Wah, timing bro.
Enemy remaining.
Well, welcome back to VCT Pacific, PRX. Because this is what you do every time out here in Seoul. I mean, this is devastating for Talon.
Planted.
A lot of people, including myself, had a lot of hopes coming into Stage 2 because of how Talon finished Stage 1. But currently, I mean, sure, credit to PRX as well. So far, despite the strong wins, playing as a team, not going for a lot of those ego peaks that we've seen from them time and time again, even over at Shanghai. So all the credit to the strong getting stronger. But Talon looking a bit lost.
I wouldn't say I'm super worried. We haven't seen enough from Talon. I feel like they still have the chance to really show us what this role switch is about. You know, they are just starting out on defense. But for now, I mean, that's really the main story. PRX looking a little bit cleaner, making some more sound decisions, playing together as a team rather than individual duels. Mentally, they are looking good as they hold on to a bit more of a default, watching for that peek out against Talon. Surf, though, with the operator this time, will be able to take Jing down.
Okay, finally, an opening kill here for Surf. Something that Talon's been starving for with that operator. Key part to their game plan so far. Now the null command, PRX will have to wait this one out. They do have the lockdown, and they've already pushed up all the way to the very opening of the site. Thrash being used to shove them back. I don't mind it. We'll get one detained. So they'll push them back, and now, if you're gonna use a lockdown, it might have to be used on pipes somewhere where there's a lineup ready.
Nice, a little bit of time too.
You should run.
Surf. Tillman will expire, so he's gonna fall back for the time being. Lockdown being expended as well. It just gives and secures PRX the site.
Spike planted.
Spike already planted. Surf waiting for the peek out, though. Knows that PRX will be relying on this lockdown. He will get detained for his troubles, but he's already dwindled down the numbers for his teammates. They'll wait it out. And meanwhile, something holding the ground next to screens, and they're not checking for Divide. They do not hear the Phantom. Eventually, the trade comes in for Jet Boys. Chaos ensues below, but something he's holding true. Shorty, taste of his own medicine as Mind Freak, a menace up top, but too many members for him to check. And Talon will finally get another round on the board.
Talon creating a little bit of their own chaos here. Surf starting things off, great shot. And then the flick onto the next one as well. I mean, just having the patience to stay on the site, not deterred by the lockdown whatsoever. Having the trust in his teammates. And this is a Talon that's starting to show a little bit of that teamwork. Sure, it gets a little bit confusing at times with Devi hiding behind, but other than that, the trades were good. That Jit Boy's shorty against something was a sight to behold.
Yeah, I mean, knowing that, hey, you're not the only one who can buy a shorty. Sure, something's the one who introduced it to VCT Pacific, but now everyone's got one in their back pocket. The operator continues. If Talon can stabilize 4 to 8, not all hope would be lost here. And now PRX trying to up the tempo just a bit, but the counter 0 point will slow them down. Forsaken waiting right outside of range with that flash drive, trying to make sure they capitalize on a potential kill here on pipes. Talon hasn't been playing pipes, right? They've been playing much further back here. So PRX, correctly identifying that, only really investing that updraft to start to scout out. Realize, okay, looks like it might be a retake setup here on A. Perhaps a flood retake. See what PRX has in store for that. You do have the Resurrection, one of the best ults to counter it.
I do wonder if they might make a decision to rotate back, but it is not in PRX's style to really head backwards. So back into the site they will go, trying to deny the retakes with a lot of their utility, but so much of it is already spent. Some lineups coming in from Talon as well to deny the spike plan and buy time for the rotations to come through, and it is a pretty good plan.
The real important thing here is going to have to be banned. He has to make an opening, because right now, everyone's being funneled, everyone's being delayed so much in the back of sight. Mind Freak's ready for it. Can Ban win that duel? Right now, something's busy on the site, just delaying the main forces of Talon. Ban needs to find this kill, and Mind Freak gets the flank. Meanwhile, Cruz will get the opening kill here on the main site, but that's the rest of PRX just answering right back. And now it's just an operator. Surf not able to land the first shot. They're chasing him. They want the knife, and he says no. Jing will get the kill with a shorty.
Last round of the first half. Let's have a little bit of fun. Why not, Will? But at the end of it, yeah, it's just a little bit tough. Ben, unfortunately, maybe not really anticipating Mind Freak's position or just not quite able to secure the duel somehow. Mind Freak being a little bit quicker. At the same time, it's just rafters as well as screens. PRX had their legs locked in. PRX had their arms around Talon's necks, and it's just too much to strangle out of. So choke points being set up, and it's a little bit difficult for that retake to go through.
Yeah, I mean, Mind Freak held a very good position there, you know, sitting on that elbow position right outside of A main. Normally, you're holding somewhere on belts, and Ban, he tried to check for it, try to go wide, try to catch him off guard, and Mind Freak just one step ahead. Now, 9-3 half for Talon, not what they wanted with their own map pick. Picking this against PRX. Of course, we did see at the beginning of the day, Forsaken and Something both very close to their 1,000 kills here in the VCT Pacific. And we do have quite a few players. Buzz are getting his yesterday. See if PRX can start to catch up with some of the other top dogs here in Pacific. Now, going over to the defensive half.
This is where hopefully Talon will be able to stretch their legs a little bit, show us what this composition, what this role swap was all about. We could see the ideas behind it, but the effects not quite felt just yet. Surely attack is where they will be able to make their stand.
Talon looking to put down the poison cloud in mid, but we'll see if they utilize it at all. It might just be some conditioning that they want to stick with for a default toxic screen on B, but that toxic screen is going to be denied real fast. PRX will discover that this has no meaning here on the pistol round. And even something ready for the mid conditioning as well. I mean, PRX just several steps ahead of Talon. Emptied out the A site, Nano Swarm's there just to delay, maybe do some chip damage. And then it's just going to be a full retake from PRX.
Not a fan of it, Will. Oh my god. 5-on-5 pistol retakes, and that could be very dangerous for either side. Want to find at least a bit of an advantage, and Talon has the space to make something happen. Devi is alone, but still relatively safe. The rest of the team have arrived. All the way onto screens. Everyone's here. It's a party.
Yeah, and Governor's just going to back it out. It has to be served, but there is the wide swing of something. Well, of course, it's a trademark at this point. Devi gets 2 off of it. Something eventually dying, but it's still only 2 members, and they cannot land the shots.
Oh my goodness. No, I don't want to see that. I think gonna show us the replay. Congratulations to Forsaken with the 1,000 kill milestone.
There you go. Forsaken gets his. Something not far off. We'll see how many rounds he has to do it though, because so far it looks like they're gonna try to wrap up map 1 pretty early. Lots of fans out here for PRX. Of course, while they didn't perform very well at Masters Shanghai, they were able to pick up that title in stage 1. Devi just picking up those kills on these trades.
Let's go! Starting to feel a little bit traumatic, Will. We've got the Outlaw back in Something's hands, and on defense, this can be really deadly. 0 point will connect. Something backs off.
Will just get shoved all the way, but here's the thing, Jing absolutely hit it on sight. Not sure if Talon's gonna check for this, as they think they've already pushed everyone back all the way past screens. They're only checking for Evan, they're not ready for it. And Jing doesn't green for the second kill either, waits for the trades for his teammates, repositions in hell. He's going to get stunned by the wingman with the slow warp, trying to save him, heals past the fragment, and then the rest of PRX has arrived at screens. Governor will pick up one, but that's all he gets. A nice, calm, and patient PRX. A bit of a new look here against Talon as they lead 11-3.
Definitely something that we were wanting to see more of from this entire squad. PRX now exercising some of that patience, and it looks really, really clean, really good. Thought the 3rd round of this map might have been a different story for Talon, but then things start to revert back.
One enemy
A
remaining.
little bit unfortunate, but that is how the story goes for now. This is the time for Talon. All sheriffs because of that force buy from the previous round.
Yeah, not much you can work with here. See what you can do on the aim duels, but unfortunately your opponents are the best aimers, some of the best out here in Pacific.
Okay.
Just going to be a deep tag onto Jing, but that means Mindfreak wasn't tagged all the way up on pipes, and now you've been spotted in mid. The weaponry not exactly in your advantage. There is the pop flash set up for Defy, the run and gun, and he absolutely transfers right over, takes a couple of the turret hits, but making sure that they can still clean house, try to finish this map as soon as possible.
My God.
12-3, map point for PRX.
PRX, absolute hitmen. Every single lane being locked down. You have that Outlaw, you have the Spectre, and Forsaken to back you up. Not to mention Mindfreak swinging out at the end with the Guardian. This is just Talon, backs against the wall. 12-3 now, Will. Their own map pick. They've got the full buy.
Listen, I'm not saying the map's over just yet, but we have seen Talon bounce back from a 13-0. So not all hope is lost, Talon fans, in the whole best of 3, but so far on this map, it's looking rough. They will have to go for 9 rounds in a row as the Outlaw comes online, but it is all full armor on the other side, so not sure if maybe a bit of a mismatch there on the purchase.
What is this?
Now Mindfreak trying to get as far out as possible, but as he's trying to line up his toes, Ban catches a bit of an off timing, and that's going to be Ban starting to dig deep into it. Talon, no reason to rush just yet. You still have over a minute. You have all the space, but the operator, Defy, finds a kill. So much long-range weaponry on the side of PRX. Ban, he's already dug too deep, but he can't hold his ground. And now PRX ready for it. Forsaken already on site. He sees him transferring over through the ropes. Defy's there for the trade. That's 3 kills on the board. Governor trying to get the kill. He'll shut down the streak. Trying to drop down. He spotted one, but he can't land
Last
it.
player standing.
Now a 1v1 just to stay alive.
Spike down 2 needs to be retrieved. Forsaken trying to play it safe. He doesn't
30
hear
seconds
anything
left.
yet. Anticipating potentially a mid push, but that's not where Cruz is.
Yeah, Forsaken, all he has to do is just hold strong.
Cruz has utility
He saw
though.
him, saw the barrel, but Cruz, okay, holds his ground, knows that Forsaken will have to re-peek. And he will be able to take that as his teammates, but they do not want it. No operator for them. Operator dropped on the side of PRX. Immediately something repurchases another.
Has the bank for it, having won those 3 rounds right off the rip on the second half. But that said, not too bad of a recovery from Talon, right? Ben might have gotten a little bit too deep, but at the same time, the rest of the team arriving on the site on time and having the teamwork to go in for those trades, having the sense to slow things down when they needed to. Cruz, great little individual fight against Forsaken.
Early Cloudburst used this time. Over on the side of Talon, taking some early control, trying to creep up towards pipes. Governor tries to fake them out with a jump off the ropes, but something's ready for it. 2 members already down. There's the quick swing. Surf expects it, reads the tendencies of PRX, but it might just be too late. Mindfreak trying to hold on to mid. He's going to spot him. He's quick on the snap. He has been absolutely crispy since the pistol round today against Talon Esports. And with a minute on the clock and only 2 members left, Talon may have to kiss their map pick goodbye and get ready for sunset.
It's just way too oppressing right now. I mean, look at the utility. You look at the positions, too. 50 seconds left on the clock. Sure, it's a lot of time, but no! Singular peaks immediately eliminated by something. Spotted out now. Chip Boys fires off his Vandal, gives away his position. He's looking for duels.
Yeah, he wants isolated. He gets one. Shit, boys, he's done quite a bit in the past. Takes a little bit of unnecessary damage. He's rushed for it. Can't worry about it right now because you just have to win every single duel no matter what. Jump on top of the box and Mindfreak sees the kneecaps and will get the kill. A 13-4 victory coming off of a rough run at Master Shanghai. PRX is here to remind everyone of their strength in VCT Pacific.
Just showing, again, they haven't really been missed all too much. In fact, they're actually showing better looks, a lot cleaner, a lot more teamwork, and Talon needing to improve. Our analysts will tell us exactly what went down.
Thank you so much, casters. And yes, I mean, don't forget, PRX were the champions of Stage 1. They are qualifying constantly to international events, and Talon definitely hasn't forgotten that either. And they were definitely watching a bit of Shanghai.
Mak keduanya apa sih tadi? Satu. Ini cocok. Konsep. Mati. Abingnya PRX pula, Cok. There's a lot resting on Bellingham's shoulders.
Well, it's only the weight of the nation. Just like it's only expectations. It's only the next big thing. It's only making history. It's only the beginning.
Again, once they put Forsaken on that initiator role, he was taking fights that it looked like he was always winning. Every time he just swings, kill here, kill there, great flash here, open something for PRX, everything follows up neatly, and like Akilio said, it just feels like it was done and dusted when you saw that kind of rhythm coming out from PRX.
Now, Talon definitely had a plan, though. They picked this map. They put Surf in, back on the jet, Achilleos.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that we've seen from him in a while, but this, as William was talking about, this was his original role. This is the agent that he has the most play time on. But I think the time away, maybe it's going to take a little while to get back into the groove, because this is a pretty stark contrast between the two Jets. I mean, 6 first kills here for something he was constantly finding value right at the top of these rounds. 15-10 for him. This is just overall brutality, and I mean, this is kind of what we expect to see when PRX is in form. It was just a question of, are they going to be really in form here today? Are they still going to be suffering the same mistakes, the same issues that we were seeing from them over in Shanghai? Clearly, the answer is no. They're right back to brass tacks.
That's kind of the magical or crazy thing about PRX. When they are on form, they look absolutely unstoppable. And T1 Data was saying just now in our interview in our earlier match today, well, one thing that's lacking here in Pacific, especially with some of these top teams like especially PRX, is consistency. But these were beautiful, beautiful plays, Asarai, here on Icebox.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, putting that into our minds already, this also felt like, Talon had some idea of where PRX was playing, but I was, talking about this off stream, panel, that PRX is one of those teams that when they're on form like this, it just feels like you can't really read out their tempo. So you have to kind of just match their aggression if you can. But unfortunately, everyone was just on form. You see Divide just doing his own thing, double kill. Something and Jing doing the same thing. Forsaken opening up for the team, as I mentioned earlier. And it just feels like Talon couldn't really keep up with that pace, and that really ultimately just took Icebox away from them.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a big concern now here for Talon coming into this next map, because Icebox, it was their pick. PRX, we know how incredible they can be on Sunset. I think we have a decent understanding as well as what we can expect for their composition, fully anticipating it's going to be Divide going back over onto that stage. Jing back over onto his namesake Raze with Forsaken, reinforcing and really escorting people forward on that breach. For Talon, they've played this map twice, and, any ounce, all the success that they've been able to have on this map is all on that defender's side. You see 4 collective round wins on the attack. This is going to be potentially quite brutal from them. I'm going to be curious to see if they change something up. Are they going to have a different composition? Are they going to have Governor going back over onto the Duelist? Is he going to be playing Raze? Is it Neon? What is this going to look like from them?
This is going to be really rough for Talon, but that said, PRX Sunset was so good since kickoff. It's usually the first ban for most of these teams going against PRX. Since then, Talon has seen PRX play Sunset over and over again, and maybe they've, concocted something new over the last couple of weeks here.
I mean, one would hope, because you want to be able to come out here, and even if you don't get the win, similar to like T1 in the previous series, you want to show that you have been putting your time to use, so you have been making the most of it. And so far with the Icebox, with Surf having a pretty poor performance, Governor as well with the KO not really showing up, it leaves us scratching our heads a little bit, saying, okay, what were you working on this entire time? So I'm hoping to see a much more sound game plan, some solid counter-stratting available here for Talon to be able to turn things around. They were able to do it. They got knocked down 0-13 again on that Lotus. They were able to rally back. They were able to make that a 3-map series. We've also seen from PRX in the past that they'll come out swinging. They'll have an absolute heater of a first map, and then they'll start to fall apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, we have a question. We got a guessing game ranking, a D rank, or rank up game. The question is, what round will we see the operator come in hand? Like, which round are we going to see an op come in either side? This is Sunset, so this is a little bit more complicated. But remember, even something on a Gecko will play with an op.
Sure.
So what round is it? So you can see here the choices are round 3, rounds 4 or 5, or after round 6. Audience.
Who's starting on the defense?
I think it's PRX because they were attacking on Icebox. I think it's after round 6.
Ya, round
Oh,
3 udah.
why did I say that?
So you can say it.
Yeah, I think
We
it's
can
gonna be
share info. We're not all like William. Like we
I mean,
can
do we have
talk
to write
about
this
it.
That's
down?
true,
I
you
guess
know.
we'll write this
Okay.
But I'm not gonna pick after round 6. I'm gonna go with the viewers today. I think it's gonna be. I was actually thinking this. I was thinking about it earlier. It was like maybe 4 or 5. So yeah, I'm gonna go with round 4.
Fast track it.
And I think.
I could be wrong though. I could be entirely wrong. But you know what?
Well,
It's-
you know what? Any of us could be entirely wrong.
that is also true. But I've been
Okay.
wrong so far
Menang.
today.
I was gonna say
Nggak beli.
3,
Okay.
Itu
but
It could be 3. And
a lot of
audience.
this is
Menang
going to
lagi
be
kan.
dictated by
Masih pakai ghost.
if they pick up the pistol.
round 2 menang.
Yeah.
So if they
Round tiga
don't, I'm
beli.
going to leave myself a buffer
Armor
space. I'm going to say
sama
4 to 5.
Okay.
And you're gonna go around 6. Okay. So, you know what? 42% of you guys picked round 3. So I think that's an interest. This is a tough one. We're all gonna suffer here a little bit. Someone's gonna be.
It's
D-rank.
probably going to be round.
And
Another.
by D-rank, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Iron. I hit Iron so fast this stage too. I don't know who's gonna hit Radiant. It might be the Wingman. Might
Maybe
be
none of
Wingman.
us.
It could be none of us.
Yeah,
It's
maybe
true.
nobody makes it.
It's the viewers.
Somebody's going to, if we have a prize, somebody's going to win it by being gold.
Yeah.
By just stagnating the entire stage. Never moving up, never moving down.
Best region, worst talent predictors. Yeah, but that's the guest and gain game. It's not meant to be fun. It's meant for all of us to suffer. It's like being a PRX fan. It's just like so much pain constantly. Well, we are going to be going to Sunset. PRX is good at Sunset. Talon,
Yeah.
historically, not so great at Sunset.
Yet to be determined.
Yeah, it's there. It's a tall order when you're playing, but they let it through. So surely something, Asterai.
And this is where I have to also mention that, you know, we were talking about before the series started that Lenny wasn't playing for Talon anymore. He's usually the one that actually plays with Talon on Sunset itself. So it's going to be the first time we're going to be seeing Surf actually bring in what he is going to bring in this second map. Is it going to be the Duelist again? Or, you know, you were mentioning, is it going to be Governor? The answer is...
Oh, okay. I mean, it's fairly standard comp. Cruz over onto the breach, something that he is very well versed with. And Governor does go back over to the Duelist, so we do get to see Surf here on that Gecko.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
All right.
Yeah.
We good? We happy?
I mean,
we feeling good about this?
We're damn near mirrored. The big thing here, of course, is going to be the Cypher for Ban. And I mean, if he's able to really just catch people off guard with his trapwire setups, with it, just the collective Cypher setup from him, and really slow up the approaches into the sites, then I think that this could end up being a bit of a thorn in the side for PRX.
Just wanted to add as well. This is Sage again on Sunset with an Omen, so we could be seeing that PRX boost over on the A side. Just to kind of point out.
Also, PRX is on the attack.
Oh.
So I need an attack off
Okay.
something. In round 4.
All right. Well, yes,
gonna be after
something. I hope
6,
you heard that
I
message.
believe.
Watching Devi on stage on this map is an absolute joy as well. Hope you see more of it. We are going to go into map 2. The question is, are we going to go the distance, as these two teams love to do? Let's go over to our casters, William and Quack.
See if Talon can take us all the way. Last time it was Sunset on map 3 that stopped them from continuing their run in the playoffs, trying to make it to Master Shanghai. But today, Sunset stands in their way of trying to get to a map 3 on Bind. PRX starting on the attack with that Sage in their composition and already looking to take full mid control. Meanwhile, look at this stack from Talon. They realize, okay, it's a Sage. You guys probably want to come B. We're just going to get information on A. We've got the cam. We'll use it for the retake. But for now, we're here to block the potential push.
That's a little bit risky though, right, Will? Okay, good little dark cover over onto A main as well, but PRX just completely avoids it. Blocks off mid-market doors as well. So they have the route to actually go on over. Cruz is gonna back up for, to investigate.
Yeah, but they're still heading towards B, though. The fault line is going to hold them at bay. It's going to be a lot of people. Governor peaks first ahead of his teammates. The paranoia a little bit late, but Cruz still gets one with the aftershock. Surf there for 2, and Cruz with 3. An absolute read routing PRX into the B site. Take your pick, main, mid, or all the way back by Boba. Talon's there.
This is just such an anti-strat. Looking at PRX's composition, I mean, great calls, great plays, and just a way to hold the angles up around Boba as well. PRX got completely stuck in this choke point. No way they made it through. Surf and Cruz lending the shots and showing us that they are rejuvenated.
I love that Surf. It made it look like Surf was kind of waiting to see if he's allowed to cheer or not. He's waiting for Cruz to pop off first. But Cruz feeling good about that call. The ante coming in hard. And now Talon looking to deny space on B once again. You know it's going to be the eco here from PRX. You know that as long as they can't get onto the site that you should have the round. But it's already too many kills on the side of PRX. Classics and Sheriffs, that's all it took. Now the upgrades.
Jitboy's gone as well. Upgrades coming in is a huge factor. Forsaken might watch the back with a Ghost, and that is a good call, but it does split Talon up a little. I don't know if that's the best thing. Surf with the Bulldog, Ban with the Stinger, they have to work together to really find these duels against PRX.
So they're going to try to group up all the way towards Boba and Market. Maybe even go for a pinch, but already so much time has passed. Mind Freak now spotted. He's buying a lot of time on the site. He's being routed towards Ban. Ban switches to the Ghost for the long range. Spike still ticking away. Devi can't land the first shot. They know that Ban has been chipped down. And somebody has to get onto that Spike right now. Wingman not available. They're trying to bait them out. Surf trying to get the kills. He gets one, but Devi knows time is not on Surf's side. He'll get the kill, but the round is over. And that is all PRX wants. All guns dropped from Talon's anti-eco.
That just turns the tables around completely economy-wise. Ooh, this is going to hurt for Talon. The momentum shifted over. I mean, I thought maybe Surf wouldn't be able to get the kill at the end there, but he did, so that's not the worst thing in the world, at least a bit of confidence boost coming back in. But that's it. I mean, the way that this fight happened around B main, you do not expect it to go this way at all.
I just want to remind everyone, this greatly reduces the chances of an early operator.
Oh, you're
and
right.
So we'll
Victoria
have to wait.
says hello to Woodrank.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Meanwhile, PRX not letting go of the pedal this time. They do have the weapon advantage, so they even feel better about going towards this B site. They'll be able to spam through. Not even having to invest any early walls. They'll use it to completely block off the entry in from Market. Full control of the site here for something. He's free to roam around a little bit. Still up, the paranoia coming in from Talon. Is it going to be enough? No, not at all, as PRX is just ready for it. Sure, it's an eco for Talon, but it doesn't feel that great. As PRX leads 2-1.
Just showing like what else PRX is capable of. Like, if they have the timing and the space to make this happen, that's the wall that'll go up. That's when something is able to use that wingman for a further room clear, a further space gain, and he's able to push up alongside it to collect on even more of these frags. It's just that much confidence coming in for PRX now as Jake pushes up and gets that double kill. I mean, Talon needs to find some way to round back. Jake struggles for a fist bump.
Okay, round for operator comes out. They save up for it. Saved all on the eco. And there you go. Governor trying to hold B main. That's their answer to the Sage. Holding a bit of that off angle. Ban with a quick peek out and an immediate cyber cage just for the retreat. You still got trap wires out here on the A side for that delay.
Cage triggered.
Now Ban just going step by step, forcing PRX to use some of that util, but backup already has arrived on the A side. Resurrection being used. And Talon, they'll have to reconsider some of their options as now it's back to being a 5v5.
certainly going to be rotations over for A site, so PRX thinking that B might be slightly weaker. They're going to have to watch for any potential rotation onlookers. I don't see anything yet, but as they head over onto B, I mean, you got to watch out for Governor with that op.
Can he get a kill crossing over on Mark? And he finds one, but he hesitates for a split second, and something will pick up the kill instead. Operator recovered by Cruz, but no teammates
30 seconds
nearby.
left.
They're gonna have to wait to see. Do they just go for an early save here? Looks like that's the choice. And they realize by the time backup arrives, you're still going to be trying to hold on to that operator. They want to make sure that they have proper weaponry to fight back in the next round. And PRX says, all right, no signs just yet. Maybe some of us go on the hunt. Some of us have some creds banked up. MindFreak will be the first.
There is a tripwire there, though. I don't really just watching the angles. All right, that's enough information. The rest of PRX actually thinking about looking for this. But apart from that, here's what I'm worried about, Will. Yes, they might be able to save up the operator and the rest of the rifles, but in this long game, the battle of attrition, PRX has the lead and the ultimate points now. Jing with the showstopper. I don't know if an operator, along with a couple of rifles, is going to be enough to withstand that force.
Oh, and an early timeout. I was going to say, do you call the timeout? Because your go-to default reads on PRX's tendencies with this composition are not really coming to fruition outside of that pistol round. You assume with the stage they're always going to want to vie for some B main control first, but we just haven't seen PRX really respect that decision from Talon much at all in the past couple rounds. So now Frost trying to remind them what they've seen in the first 4 rounds of this map. The question is how does PRX react to it as well? As some of the fans have also noted, and we called it out on the first map quack, PRX looking a lot more disciplined today.
That's the main thing. I mean, they're actually having the sense to play some defaults now. I mean, look at Alex versus Coach Frost as well. It's not the same, verbal abuse shout match like what we saw from Pacific in Stage 1. They're actually really calm and talking through every single little decision. So I am expecting PRX to be a little bit more cautious. Meanwhile, Talon, what is their game plan? Are they going to be a little bit more proactive on the defense? Governor still having that op, still being able to, possibly push up, find an opening pick.
You got to go for, you have to set him up for success, quite frankly, if you're working off that operator. I mean, on B site, sure, I get it. Hold that off angle because at the end of the day, the most important thing is the Sage setting up for the wall, and that has to happen at the entrance. But outside of that, you have to gain a little bit more control. Looks like it might be a long-range fault line support here on to A main. Near the Dizzy as well. No, Cruz just peeking out for now as they see no tags on the Dizzy. Ooh. Backs out, closes the door to market. Immediately gets broken, and now Talon, their default, already shaken up as that door no longer provides any value.
No information and a little bit of that pressure as well. Talon now starting to rethink their decisions. The fault line will be able to give a little bit away, so attention brought back over onto this A site.
Governor just trying to make sure he stays focused, going for a little bit of this jiggle with this operator, but I'm feeling so scared for him as there's no backup. He will slowly go away. Wants to make sure he has an exit plan because they've taken over mid control. So as long as he can hold on to back sight, they should have a pinch.
He's still on site.
Yeah, there's no true sentinels on the side of PRX. So Governor, got to play it safe from the Thrash. Now they've used that ultimate, tries to go for a hit. Throws a pinch, just misses a little bit. Not going to get the delay he wanted. And meanwhile, the flank, it's been read by MindFreak. He gets one, cannot quite connect onto the second. But the information is there. Siege wall blocking off one side. The rest of PRX are now on the hunt. They want to push off the flank so that they are free to focus onto it. The showstopper comes out for Jing. Gets Chip Boys. Thrash as well. Ties up Cruz. Jing on the hunt. Wants to get the kill. I don't know if you have time for the knife, but you will have time for the headshot as it's a 4-1 lead for PRX.
Just, again, that's that timeout. PRX has the counter for it. The reads, Governor, unfortunate with the operator, just not quite being able to find value on it. And it hurts. PRX, I mean, that wall actually does so much in blocking off a single lane. Not only that, you got Divine propped up in an advantageous angle, and also Jing with the showstopper. I mean, talk about rubbing salt into the wound.
Man, It's a good read from Talon overall in their own game plan, but at the end of the day, doesn't quite take into account some of the space that PRX might have taken, and of course, it is an FPS. You do have to win your duels. Try to stay up on the numbers. Man, the crisscross trip setup, we've seen that a couple times, but it's a full commitment. Snappy from Jit Boys as well as Ban, both of them trying to lock on. Jit Boys will fire first. Now the trips still haven't been discovered just yet.
And Jing's gone as well, so I don't really see, unless like a bit of utility goes into it or something, but apart from that, PRX definitely looking for a different game plan right now. A little bit of mid presence, and they've spotted out a couple of players. Now we're going in for some of these aim duels, a little bit of a trade, and something's looking for the next one. Cruz having the sensibility to back off, wanting to play alongside Jit Boys, but something just continues to walk forward.
It's absolute bait, but something rains into it. Oh my goodness, if he had gotten that kill. But at the end of the day, Governor, with the Stinger, close range, what is that? Demise Snappy with it. Not gonna lead to a round victory, but absolutely quick. Reminding us that he too used to be one of the best operas that we've seen out here in the Pacific region.
On a Sage, no less. Something to think about for sure, but for now, I mean, this round is truly just Talon getting a feel, getting a read for the map, putting up these roadblocks in front of PRX. Once Jing gets shut down, once something gets shut down, the rest of the team starts to lose their limbs and no longer have that space gained.
Now a full trip set up here on the A side. Talon, they have the right read for the stack. It's an immediate kill for Ban, and there is the neural theft. He wants to get the backup as he knows that something's just walking forward, but he can't lock on to the kill. The neural theft gives the pings for the rest of Talon, but they don't have full forces just yet. The flank is quick, but the main forces are not staying alive on the site. Governor and Cruz hungry for teammates, but they will not survive.
Yeah, they have the positioning and the ultimates, but 2-on-4, you might want to think about the save, especially with that operator in hand. It has just been not the greatest time, not a joyful time for Talon right now. That operator hasn't had a chance to sing yet, and PRX, I mean, talk about changing up the pace. They just walk straight into Ben and then hang back for a while. Just, how do you anticipate that?
I mean, Ban also goes for the second kill. Right decision to cut off the further backup, but couldn't line up the headshot. Mindfreak already on the hunt. They have a pretty good idea now that they have control of mid as well. Mindfreak, can he get through the first obstacle of Cruz?
Easy.
No, he gets shut down, and that should buy just enough time for the operator to stay alive. Vault line at the ready as well.
A little smile from Cruz. He manages to secure his back. 2-5 right now, and the lead is starting to be felt. You have those ultimates though. Talon definitely has a chance at striking back. This is a team that puts in the hours. This is a team that works incredibly hard, and it would just suck if you don't see them walk away with at least a bit of a win today.
So the operator handed over to Ban, getting ready for what seems to be a showstopper play, and it looks like it's going to be all the way down mid, all the way through tiles, but he finds no targets. Can he find the next one? It's not going to land onto a kill. Meanwhile, Jing already at market. He's still stunned up, but he's staying alive, and now he's back in the fight. Cruz couldn't find the opening. Meanwhile, Ban holding true, but immediately it's only one kill for that operator. Jing's still alive. He finds his targets. They line up. Jit Boy survives, but for not long enough. PRX winning a quick round in round 8.
He's just completely going off mayhem. Everyone trying to set up for it, but as it goes through, unfortunately, the plans do not quite work out, and PRX having the sense to actually fight back against this. The angle's being held, the counter reads, a couple of shots going through, but ultimately getting control over market allows for Jing to really set up and line things up for himself.
It's a very unfortunate match so far for Talon, as we do see them getting some good reads. And again, on paper, their own plans are quite solid. But you see them missing out just a little bit on the aggression, a little bit on the confidence, a little bit on the aim, and it all starts to fall apart, and then they condition themselves to think that they cannot win in some of these situations. As something just the absolute master of the market. Holds down both angles, mind you, 180 degrees. And now with 3 sheriffs, what can Talon do? We know that some of them can be sharpshooters, but so far today, that hasn't been the story.
And not really wanting to give too much to PRX too. Something 1 point away from that Thrash. Defy 2 points away from the res. There's that Thrash now available as we near the end of this first half. Jit Boys blocked off. No exits. He's pinned down.
Devi's here. They're waiting for Devi to creep up, but Forsaken says, sorry, spotted him. I'll pick up the kill. That's 1 more point. 3 points now towards that Rolling Thunder for Forsaken. And overall, I mean, we mentioned it in Icebox, but that fire that we saw from Talon, it's missing. A little bit too patient, a little bit too cautious, perhaps. Some of these rounds, the read is good, the prep is good, but the execution lacking, and then the next round follow-up after that, they go right back on their back foot.
Right there.
Yeah,
But now with rifles again and a Thrash, see what they can do.
I'd even need to see, timeout again, maybe not too soon, but still. Good little read with the fault line now. It completely connects onto PRX as they hang back.
So PRX is really actually the one starting to adapt to Talon, right? Recognizing that Talon's had a couple good reads. See if you can bait out the reactions, and now they see, the heavy utility coming out on B. All right, now we can start to re-clear A a little bit. Haven't seen anyone push out.
Here.
This time another fast push out of B, and Talon's tried this so many times to hold on the side on A with the utility while the flank comes through. You even have From the Shadows this time in the form of Jit Boys Zoman. Is it going to be enough? Thrash online for Surf. They just need to stay alive until Cruz and Governors arrives. Jit Boys stunned up. All 3 members still alive, and here comes the Thrash on the Spike Clan. Just trying to buy time. Jit Boys swings on it. Ban is there as well. Finally, could it be the retake? But Jink slows things down. Talon, they'll have to battle through a bit further. Something's still alive. That's another 1v1, but Jit Boys will win out. And Talon finally the picture they've been trying to get on the board. The retake comes true.
Getting the reads for it. I mean, as soon as that Thrash goes through, they can tell the game plan, trying to stay alive, and they managed to do it. The rest of the team flanking forward as well. That's definitely what they needed. You might have thought that PRX might be able to hold some of their positions, Mind Freak up on top of the boxes, for example, but that's it. Talon finally adapted to it, and now maybe a slight chance at turning around these tables.
Yeah, that's always been the biggest weakness of this composition, right? You don't have a Cypher, you don't have any true Sentinel to watch your back. You can start to punish that if you clear one side of the map early. Once again, full utility on A for a retake to buy some time. It's another set play towards mid, but this time all the way straight through. It's a full committal at the Dizzy. Something not expecting that one. Thought it might have been a tiles crunch, but I love the variation. Talon might be a step late, but they want to say that they're still in the game, trying to make it a 5-7 half. And Jin correctly recognizing, all right, if the back has been taken over, we got to push deeper into the site, create another opening. And the Sage Wall to cut off the flank this time.
Hiding inside the dark cover as well. Not watching the flank, all we got to worry about is the front, and that is where PRX might be able to take them down. But Jing peeks out. Good flash, but not quite enough to fight against Jit Boys.
Devi has the operator, he gets one. They can't follow up the slow orb. Yeah, it's going to be able to delay them just a bit. The Aftershock to try to buy time, but they're already passive. Forsaken, he hears the Shrouded Step, but Jit Boys is quick on it. Now a 2v2. Devi's already set up, holding the angle. He gets one. The Shrouded Step actually gives time for the reposition of Devi. And Jit Boys knows the spike is ticking down. He has to run through, and Mind Freak swings out as PRX shuts down and dashes the dreams of Talon, trying to close the gap.
And that's just so quick. Again, you mentioned it before, PRX starting to show that they have what it takes to adapt. They have the discipline, and they're not complacent. That was what Jing mentioned in the hype trailer, that they don't want to be too complacent about their win from stage 1. And they're definitely showing that they're capable of it. The sensibility to put that barrier orb behind them instead of up front, and then having the positions along with that operator from Devi just to nail down Talon. I mean, look at this guy on the stage, on an operator, but 12 kills on top of everyone.
Yeah, fragging out to its heart's content. Devi doesn't get to do that every day on this squad of PRX, oftentimes in a supporting position. But today, feasting with that op on the attacking half. Governor lands a nice flick onto something, shuts down a bit of that aggression, but the resurrection comes through. Can Talon hold on to this? Has to shy away from the boom bot. They have to give up the site. They'll hold on to market for the time being.
Forces it out. Now a bit of utility being spent just to create a bit of that extra pressure.
Right there.
And Talon repositions into a 2-on-2 default, and against a lot of teams, this would be a good idea. But it's PRX, and they don't have a Sentinel. They recognize that. They don't have the leisure to wrap around all the way to the other side. Talon, they wanted to push out of A main, but they're still not quite sure, so that information isn't there for their teammates, and it's a fast push. Oh my, the shorty does land, but not enough for a kill. Surf trades 1 for 1, but the spike goes down. That's the most important part. Now the Thrash trying to push through. Surf trying to create a curveball, but the Thrash wraps all the way around, and Governor doesn't have a rifle to try to follow up. Just the operator, the Rolling Thunder to push him back, and the flank is still too slow. 2 members unseen. Mind Freak ready for it. He'll get one. And now hunting for ban. PRX on the move. Something's coming back as well. They're all ready for it. Ban will get 2 crispy ones, but it's just too many targets. A 9-3 half for PRX.
Nice couple of crispy chicken wings, but then by the end of it, just still not quite able to fire on through. Good opening shot from Governor, right? Talon able to fight back, but like you mentioned, Will, a moment of hesitation and trying to pull off a bit of that flank, it takes too much time. And PRX knows exactly where to apply that pressure. It's painful for Talon, and hopefully this halftime will give them some moment of respite to regroup and re-engage. They gotta tighten up those elephant pants theirs.
Now we'll see the collaboration, of course, outside of the server, but now in the server, Talon has to strike back. PRX so far trying to please all the fans that have come out to cheer for them, the reigning champions of VCT Pacific. Church NG currently in the absolute spotlight worldwide. But PRX, they say the year's not over just yet. The most important trophy of all, awaiting all the teams around the world at Champion Seoul, and PRX have their eyes trained on it. Trying to go for the full drive forward here in stage 2.
Definitely looking better and better. Same compositions, same stories. And that's just going to be PRX now back over onto the defense. This is where that Sage can, have different kinds of value as well. Meanwhile, for Talon, I mean, what are we going to see? You need Cruz, Surf, they got to set Governor up and they got to go in for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a full commit this time to the B side for the time being. Just trap wire to check for any forward movement out of A. Oh, a frenzy for Cruz as well.
Look at PRX too, though. Interestingly, focusing their attention over onto mid.
Just wanting to make sure that it's not going all the way deep. Again, a result of them not having something like the tripwire to cover top mid. They're pretty confident in their ability to go for a retake on either of these sites. Using this box nice and early. Cruz has an inkling for it, but he doesn't come into it, and it's an early drop. Something with a nice pick at the back site as well. The Frenzy still holding on to the site. Talon intends to cause chaos, but Forsaken tries to cut down the numbers. Now a 2v1, but Surf solo. My freak with the PRX classic. Clutches it up. Continues the lead, 7 rounds ahead of Talon.
1, 2, and 3 taps. That's all he needs to clutch out the round. Mind Freak, still calm, it's still ready to strike. I mean, PRX, I was wondering what that positioning was all about, but you can clearly see, just trying to avoid the classic execution from Talon. They knew it was going to be that blast pack satchel combo into the site, and PRX just avoids it.
I don't know if I've ever seen something get up for a clutch from one of his teammates. I mean, it was a great clutch, but this isn't like the craziest thing PRX has ever done. That was an interesting interaction, but great to see them back in good spirits. We've seen this so many times ever since the offseason. Forsaken be it KO or Breach, sitting with the Outlaw, using the Sage Wall. PRX going back to some trusty old ideas. Now the Judge as well. I mean, the bait and switch is going to be perfect. The jump forward. Now the hunt past the Dizzy.
Wow.
Jinx so quick with it.
Spike down A.
Dizzy didn't have a chance.
He's just a little lizard? Why you gotta...
Is he a lizard?
I don't know.
I always thought he was an armadillo.
Armadillo.
First of all, they aren't actually animals for anyone
That's
curious.
true.
They're like spirits. But Forsaken's going to get the cleanup kill. 11-3 here for PRX. And there it is, something catching right back forward. And as the desk mentioned, again, a quick reminder, something wasn't here at the beginning of VCT Pacific last year, so he has been absolutely farming these kills to catch up this quickly.
Welcome to the 1,000 kill club. I mean, you can definitely see how it all happens. The judge in hand, being able to find that double. Jing as well is just there to back him up. I mean, this is going to be a tough ride for Talon as they try to come back into the game. But it's not happening yet. Forsaken opening things up with a quick headshot.
Yeah, the Outlaws have always been so powerful in the hands of PRX. Mind Freak, he's been very sharp today. Has his eyes trained on the very edge. You know that that's where they want to pick out from the smoke. But quick trades this time from Talon. Moving as a unit. Their game plan always to try to hold some semblance of control in backside while the spike goes down. And PRX will respect it for the time being. Jing all alone has to wait for something, only a judge in hand, but should be able to pick up a long-range weapon if he so chooses. There it is, a Phantom, perfect choice. Mosh pit to toss him out. There is the wingman to go for the defuse. It baits out the attackers. Ban will go for the trade. Boombot singles out one, but he knows it's a pinch now. Jing, hungry to try to get it. He wants to close the gap. Goes right up against the box. And Chip Boys will stabilize. 4th round for Talon, and we do have to make clear it's not match point just yet for PRX. There is still some hope for Talon.
I need a draw. Definitely. I mean, this time just kind of delaying that push, I think. You know, allowing for the initial forces to push on through. They managed to create that space, but then the rest of the team to slowly fan out across just to find those trades. Once they found it, Jit Boys with the paranoia out towards Jing really counteracted PRX's retake scenario. So 4-11 now. PRX still fighting back up on the Outlaw, trying to make use of some long-range duels, but the stack up on A is interesting as well.
Yeah, the Thrash trying to push them back, but it does get taken out just in time. So Talon able to continue their agenda of pushing forward. However, they now recognize it's a bit of a heavier stack onto the A side than they may have wished for. Governor, is he going to have the backup on the pop flash? There is a double swing. Governor good for one. And they quickly still stay ahead in numbers. Meanwhile, Ban digging deep in mid, already in position. If they need, a rotate could happen, but the Thrash will clear out the site for the time being. Something waiting for a timing, and Defy up top through the Sage Wall. You can never count that out. Wingman goes by something. He wants to try to get a kill, but for now, he'll get the free spike down. The smoke dissipates. Woo! I was getting a little worried, but Surf quick on the trigger.
Defy able to fight back, but yeah, it's just enough of a timing for Talon to really shoot back against PRX. And with that, economy turned upside down. Talon has a chance to find the momentum.
See if they can string it together. Still a long way to go. No mistakes allowed for Talon here on Sunset. But it does seem like the players individually starting to come online just a bit. Looking a bit faster, looking a bit more confident, a bit more snappy in their movement and their aim.
Right there. Especially on the attacking side, not really all too much to consider or hesitate about. Meanwhile, PRX starting to go back in for some of these duels and trades. It doesn't quite work out, especially up around this elbow position. But now with pistols, let's just walk up front. Why not? We got the sheriffs, we got the firing squad. We're back in, boys. And Van, unfortunately, will get shut down. That is a rifle pickup.
Yeah, that one rifle could make a huge difference in the hands of PRX. Talon, they know where the opponents are coming from. For the most part, the likely scenarios are B main and market. That's where Talon's watching. They're a bit quicker than Cruz imagined. He has to get ready with the Aftershock. Aftershock just to buy time, going for the reposition. Now everybody, their eyes trained here. Meanwhile, keep an eye on the minimap as Jing goes all the way around, but so much utility dumped in from PRX. Surf stays alive, isolates the fights. Now Wingman to make sure that he can still stay alive. And all through this, Governor staying focused on the site, recognizes that it's still missing out on Defy, and Governor will get the final kill. 6th round win for Talon.
Good communication, good trust in the teammates, and what a way for Surf to ride the wave. I mean, knowing that they were going to push up front into this B main position, he holds it down first 2 kills and then waiting with the wingman against Mindfreak. At the same time, like you mentioned, just looking out for where Devi could possibly approach from. This is Talon showing that they do have the teamwork to really come back into this. 3 rounds in a row now, and PRX buying back up.
If they can win this round, suddenly tying it up is right in front of their doorsteps. Big round for Talon, grouped up by tiles, but something. An absolute wild card here in mid. He's planted in. He doesn't realize that Governor's already made it past him. They have no idea. He doesn't get both. Surf, an absolute savior for Talon here in the second half.
A little bit of a fault line, but look at how fast Mindfreak responds instantly with the dark cover. Shuts the door in front of Surf's face. Couple of shots fired through just to deter any further aggression. Meanwhile, Jing heads up front in towards Elbow, but bites the bullet. What is Forsaken gonna do now that he's alone on A?
Pushes forward, tries to close the gap a bit. Now from the shadows here to support them as well. You do still have the Thrash as well for Surf. If he can stay alive, he gets the kill, and now they know B-side has to be clear. They notice there, the Rolling Thunder sends back to a kill on Mindfreak. Forsaken setting up the team kill Goomba Stomp.
Malah jadi selamat
I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that.
Outside of game collaboration, inside of game kind of collaborating, they gave Talon their wings. They gave Ban wings. And it's just unfortunate, but what a way for Talon to really cement their win in this round. And like you mentioned, Will, this is now Talon potentially being able to even out the odds. It's right at their doorstep.
Another buy-for-buy round win for Talon. And a big part of this is Surf holding things down, being a menace, and man, just patient through all of that.
It's like, all right.
You can tell he's just waiting for his feet to land. He's constantly searching for that head. And that forces out the timeout from PRX. Fans have been wanting to see Alex and Alex's desk on camera. And we get a chance. Talon, or PRX rather, smiles wiped away for now as they realize it's not going to be smooth sailing just yet.
Not entirely that simple. After the past couple of rounds, Talon has been showing their adaptations to this game as well. Right? The late pushes, finding bits and pieces of teamwork where they are able to isolate some of these tools against some of the PRX players as well. The trade's not quite happening for PRX, and the retake's not quite happening as well because they don't quite have the numbers. So 4 rounds in a row now for Talon. Let's see if they can string a couple more.
Looks like it's going to be a fast hit onto A. That way you can get the showstopper as well. It's going to be a full execute up to the doorsteps of A main. Meanwhile, Rez online for PRX, but only 2 members, so not looking to use that too early just yet. The early spike him, spots both, and immediately elbow control given over to Talon.
A little bit more time now, a little bit more space. PRX, triple stack on the other side, slowly starting to move on over. Ban has an opportunity. Collect on a possible kill. Not quite happening just yet.
Yeah, but Mindfreak takes this opportunity to push out mid. Ban, I don't know if he quite realizes it just yet, but he will get the kill. And now they realize mid control given over to PRX. Elbow still there as Ban's still fishing for a bit more information, but that's already 3 members you've spotted in mid. Talon has to go right now. They have an opening. They have to make it happen. Governor hesitating until his teammates are there for the backup. He does swivel and get the kill. Something, a rare whiff from him. And now Talon spread out across the map. Post-plant position online. Showstopper just to try to buy time. There's the counter, but it's after the rocket fires off. And Jing will only get the trade to even the numbers. Sage Wall online from the shadows to try to buy more time. Coming in from Chip Boys, but he's already losing teammates. There's a crack in the wall, but the weapon's not out. Mindfreak gets the read. And PRX, the successful retake, will bring them to match point.
I mean, this was a counter in protocols. They knew what Talon's game plan was alongside that showstopper. Allowed them to sneak in, but bingo, bango, bish, bash, bosh, it's going to be PRX with Jing in the movement to counter against Governor and that showstopper. Devi being sneaky and beaky with that barrier orb just around the other side of Elbow. He hung down and looked for that frag against Surf. A little bit unfortunate for Talon. Talon, but it is what puts PRX at match point now.
Yeah, it's the small little mechanics, small ways to use your tool set. And now that it is match point, never mind, take that back. I was gonna say, bit of a different soundtrack. Well, we'll have to wait to see what the issue might be. At least it doesn't seem like it's a hot pack being bursted open, so wait to see confirmation on what it is. Admin already on site to try to resolve this here for Governor. Audio issue, taking a look at his earbuds.
It's going to take a little bit of time, but at the same time, I mean, just PRX having that many rounds in their pockets, a bit of a timeout, and it just shows, you know, Alex's timeouts continue to have that impact. Right, the win rate continues to climb a little bit higher and higher.
Yeah, Talon, they've been in this position before, right? This was that map where they started to try to mount a very strong comeback in Sunset as well to try to best PRX in the playoffs in that knockout round in Stage 1. But unfortunately, they lose track right near the end, the focus slipping away from them. They don't want to make that same mistake, but they've already made it way too close to a deja vu.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it, Will. I mean, the way that Talon has switched up the roles from before, now back to something that they're more comfortable with, but we don't really see, you know, the same level of success, you know, against like some other games, some other teams that they've played against. Governor, not the loudest performance on the server, but meanwhile, Surf on this Gecko has been the one who's topping the kill feed. And it happens because, I don't know, he's kind of hanging back and going in for some of these trades.
Yeah, a lot of the lurks once again, right? And the trades, he's very quick uncovering for his teammates, something that we couldn't really see when he was playing that Jet on the Icebox. But now, issues resolved, we continue on to what may be the last round of the night. PRX already leading 1-0 in this match, now 1 round away from wrapping it up. Something will be denied vision up in mid. Now slow control of mid. PRX, that previous round, countered out that lurk. Is that going to be the swing on the paint shells? No, it's going to be the fault line that's just too strong. Coming in from both sides and no escape for Governor, and it's going to be the snappy shot of something dominating the mid lane of Sunset. And Surf, we praise him coming back online here on map 2, but it's 5 members of PRX.
I am grimacing in pain off of that one. 5-on-1.
5 monsters that Surf has to battle through. 1 down, but can he make sure it's all 1v1s from here on out? It's just too many. There's the thrash, and it's a triple swing. As PRX start off stage 2 strong, right where they left off here in Pacific with a 2-0 clean win.
PRX